So I was on TikTok and I saw this TikTok, obviously, where they talked about a guy with Down syndrome who's working at Wendy's for like 22 years was fired, and the reason that the manager gave was because he like wasn't able to actually do the job normally. I believe they used the word normally, which is crazy to me. And I kind of want to investigate it and watch a little bit more on it, but I kind of doubt we're ever going to get a full explanation from Wendy's, because there's no way that they could possibly even try to rationalize I fired somebody with an intellectual disability because they weren't normal. There's no way they'll give a good answer, because there's never going to be a good answer. I talked to my wife about this a little bit, and I know you guys, oh, you're my wife. My wife works with people with Down syndrome. She talked about how there's potentially different things in infrastructure that would support this person who's working for Wendy's. There's potentially, if they need it, a work coach. This is actually a thing that apparently people do sometimes. If they qualify, they can get a work coach to help them go to work. So it would be your job to go and do someone else's job for them. But basically, and then she talked about how like there can be limitations on some people with disabilities based on what they are able to do, which makes perfect sense. It's often like, you know, sometimes like 16 or 14-year-olds, like they can't use like anything sharp and they have to work within these limitations. Well, some people that have like Down syndrome might also have those limitations depending on how much they're able to perform. Additionally, you don't have to pay them a livable wage. So, you know, I'm not. So it's very interesting actually. Because they get paid less, but it's so interesting. I'm going to explain to you why. So people potentially with disabilities, like this person might get paid less from the company. It's a way to incentivize them working for Wendy's. And you might be like, well, that's really shitty. They should get paid just as much. And I tend to agree. The problem is if they get paid too much, then they might lose their disability services because they don't make too much money. How fucking crazy. Everything's so complicated. Anyway, let's watch the video.
At 5, outrage tonight over the firing of a longtime local Wendy's employee who has special needs.
It's possible that the reason that they fired him was because the manager may have wanted to force the worker to do something that's like not within their capabilities, and the person knows their rights. They were able to advocate for themselves, and then they were like, no, and the guy's like, well, you're fired then. And he was almost going to retire, by the way. This guy worked at Wendy's for 22 years, and he almost retired. That's crazy. That's crazy. What a shame.
With the company for the better part of 2 decades. Good evening, I'm Brian Blakely.
And I'm Alicia Barnes. Queen City News anchor Robin Kennedy is live tonight at the Wendy's in Stanley and Gaston County. Now, Robin, you spoke with the sister of the man who was fired. So how did she even find out about this?
Yeah, Alicia and Brian, it is such an upsetting story. The sister of the man with special needs says her brother's caretaker called the restaurant here to let them know that he was on his way to work. But that's when the sister says the manager told the caretaker he was fired.
Was he late to work? Why were they calling him to let him know they're on his way? Was he consistently late? I wonder if that's the reason. I'm just throwing ideas out there. I wonder if he was like always late. They're like, we have to fire you. I doubt it, but it's possible. Or maybe that's just like oh, you know what? Maybe that is what it is, because maybe they have like public transportation buses that deliver. So at least in my area, they have buses. They're power buses, paratransit buses, call them SCAT buses, because we poop all over them. Just kidding. There was a lot of poop on them, though. We clean it up all the time. I used to clean them. Anyway, paratransit, and they would pick people up that were like, you know, disabled in some capacity. Could be physical, could be intellectual, could be developmental, whatever caused them to qualify for the bus. And you would get a window. So you'd be like, I picked up at 7 o'clock. I need to be home by 10 o'clock. It's like, okay, I believe the window is a half hour. So you'll get picked up from anywhere between 6:45 and 7:15, and you'll be home by anywhere between, 9:45 and 10:15, unless we're late, and then you can go fuck yourself, because that's just life. So you'd always want to book as early of a trip as possible. So I wonder if maybe he was late. I know I'm running with an idea, and it had something to do, or maybe he was consistently late and had something to do with like the way that the buses ran in some capacity. I don't really know.
I love you.
I love you too.
Kona Turner takes care of her brother.
Shit, he didn't want to put up with her fucking nonsense. You see that?
I love you.
I love you.
He's just like, I love you. Get off me.
Kona Turner takes care of her brother, Dennis Peak.
Well, he is my baby brother, and I got guardianship of him when our mom passed. Well, and he's like my kid, he's mine now.
Okay.
Until Wednesday, Dennis was a
make sense.
proud employee of more than 20 years at the Wendy's on Highway 27 in Stanley.
I love my job, Wendy's.
Okay.
working all time.
Damn. You will never find anybody who's worked at Wendy's for 22 years saying that they love their job at Wendy's. I don't know why the fuck you would fire this guy. What the hell's the matter with you? They're probably paying him like $3 an hour, and you're like, oh, he can't perform the job I need him to. L Wendy's is right, dude.
Dennis washed tables and chairs. His family liked to stop it.
Yeah, see, like he probably, what was I saying? Like, there's probably a pretty big limitation. He may only be able to do tables and chairs and wipe stuff down, but like he's also, they're getting like, he's not getting paid full wage. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the whole thing. Like, how the fuck are you gonna complain, bro?
In and see him at the restaurant. But without warning Wednesday, Kona found out her brother had been fired from his job.
She just terminated him. She said she had a job that needed to be done and he wasn't doing it.
Yup. Oh, I think my wife was right. This motherfucker probably wanted him to do some shit that wasn't in his job description. Probably somebody that wasn't in the job description. And they fired him because he's like, I can't fucking do it, bro. He probably he may specifically be hired to like wash down tables and chairs and like wipe surfaces, which is totally fine. So, but then like they couldn't get him to do something that wasn't in his description, and boom, they fired the guy.
Kona says she tried to talk with the manager, but couldn't get anywhere with her.
Of course, dude. Wendy's. I actually like Wendy's. It's not bad. Wendy's nuts are in your mouth. Got it.
I was very upset.
Kona posted about the ordeal on Facebook.
My brother, Dennis, she doesn't even know punctuation. Idiot. Just kidding. Well, I'm serious, but anyway. My brother, she's not an idiot. I was just joking. Anyway. My brother Dennis has worked at Wendy's in Stanley for over 20 years, and I am heartbroken to say they have fired him. His dream was to retire from there one day, and he was just looking forward to having a huge retirement party. He probably was, bro. He's probably like, I can't wait to retire and get a big party. It's probably like a fucking lifelong goal for this guy. We may just give him that party and tell him he's retired because he doesn't understand being fired. That's sad. They told me, wait, damn, I wonder what they told him when he wasn't allowed in there anymore. It's like, you just can't go in there anymore. He's like, that sucks. I'm fucking sad. They told me he was unable to perform the duties of a normal person job. I am looking into a wrongful termination of a special needs employee. Wish me luck. I'm very disappointed with the management of Wendy's and Stanley. They have no idea how they hurt my brother. Yeah, that's fair. Totally fair.
Facebook.
It just melted my heart. I'm sorry.
My wife asked, did we find why he was fired? It sounds like the manager asked him to do something that wasn't within his either job capabilities or the job requirements, most likely, because it sounds like they said he was just hired to wipe down tables and chairs. And so they fired him. That's what it kind of seems like.
The owners of the franchise tell Queen City News in part, quote, "We are committed to creating a welcoming and inclusive environment for our employees and our customers.
Damn.
This was an unfortunate mistake and lapse in protocol."
Oh, dude, Wendy's just fucking shitting and farting right now, dude. Wow, what do you do? Oh, my God.
Wendy's offered Dennis his job back. Kona doesn't
Why would you want to go back after that, though? You know what I mean? Would you want to go back after they fucking you like that? He probably would because he doesn't understand.
know if they'll accept.
I will not let anybody mistreat my brother.
All right.
I will not let them be mean to him.
Okay.
Now, Kona says there should be consequences.
Let me just be honest with you, and I could be 100% wrong. I just, listen, grain of salt, all right? High blood pressure. That's how many grains of salt I want you to take this with. The sister comes off as a little disingenuous, and the fucking guy doesn't seem to really want to be around her. Maybe that's just me. I could be completely wrong. That's just a feeling I get, but not my feelings aren't always correct, and I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to bring that up, okay? Just take that with a grain of salt.
For mistreating workers. I specifically asked Wendy's corporate if the manager who fired Dennis is being disciplined. They said they cannot comment on personnel matters, but they do tell me they're taking appropriate action.
That's good. Frankly, I don't think that person should get fired. And I'm not trying to be rude. They need to be punished. They probably need like a sensitivity course for people with like disability. Well, just in general, they probably need to do like some kind of a sensitivity course. But I don't think the manager should get fired. Like that was the wrong thing to do. People fuck up every day. That person needs to be punished, but it should be some kind of a retraining. Honestly, I I think that that's what they should be. They rectified the situation. They gave the guy his job back, which is a good right thing to do. And then I think that they need to punish the manager, possibly transfer the manager to a different place. Because like, you know, you can't punish the employee by moving them, and, you know, retrain her, you know.
Reporting live in Stanley, Robin Kennedy.
You think I just don't understand Southern charm? That's fair.
Queen City News.
That's fair. That's fair. Maybe I just don't understand Southern charm. You know, the other, like, it's one of those things where I'm very used to going to the Chinese buffet. And if you know, Asian restaurants, when it comes to hospitality, 3 out of 5 stars, you know? And it's a cultural thing. I'm totally fine with it. Because if it's too good, if the hospitality at like an Asian restaurant is like 4.5 to 5 star, it's not going to be a good restaurant. It's too American at that point. You need to be, and that's who I'm used to. So when people are too nice to me, I'm like, ugh. It's like, oh, gross. You know what I mean? I can't. So maybe I just don't understand the Southern charm. Hey, everyone, thank you so much for watching. And a special shout out to all my Patreon patrons, my YouTube members, and my Twitch subs. If you'd like to learn how you can contribute even more than you already are by simply watching the video, you can check the links down below, which will unlock a special feature depending on the platform that you subscribe to, such as Patreon here, that will get your name right here on this wall. Thank you so much, guys, again for watching, and have a good one.